Parents of Reddit, what are your kids currently attempting to hide from you? My 6-year-old got out of bed early on Sunday morning to sneak downstairs and steal Monopoly money from the bank in the unfinished game from the night before, which was left out on the table. My kid would get up in the middle of the night and want a snack. He would sneak into the kitchen and eat a whole tomato, except the little circle where it connected to the stem. He hid the little stem circles under whatever was on top of the trash and would go to sleep. We always made sure there were tomatoes for him. My daughter, who's 9, thinks she's being crafty hiding a book under her pillow to read after bedtime. I've known for about a year and let her have half an hour secret reading time after she goes to bed. Bit harder to know if she's not reading after half an hour. Now it's summer and she doesn't need to use a lamp, but I can tell if she's turned her lamp off in winter. When my son was 5, he stashed a bunch of blueberries under his pillow for later. Problem is, not only did they get squished night one, but he forgot about them until we changed his sheets a few days later. Ugh. Death. Our son, 9, is taking his marbles to school and screwing other kids out of their marbles. He's got a real hustle going on there. He's not allowed to take any toys to school, hence why he's hiding it. I checked his school backpack and found probably a kilogram worth of marbles in there. We are having a talk this afternoon. Conversation with daughter. Okay. So while I was changing your sister, did you finish dinner? Yes daddy, all of it. Yes, so if I look in the garbage can I'm not going to find any of your dinner in there. Silence. My 4-year-old son is currently trying to hide that he pees his bed. His dad questioned him the other morning asking if he did, and he said no, even though we were holding his wet pants. When we asked whose pants they were, he said mommy's. We asked again if he peed his bed, and he said no, mommy did it. Little bastard. Fortunately my teenager, 16, going on 17, doesn't try to hide much from me. She's a terrible liar and gets busted right away every time. So she just casually admits stuff these days. It's pretty great. However, she's been sneaking her boyfriend over to the house during the day while I'm at work and thinks I'm clueless. Girl, I know you eat a lot, but there's no way you're going through half a loaf of bread by yourself in one day. You also left his glass of water on the coffee table. To all the teenagers on here, your parents know more than you think and are also more ignorant than you think. The trick is, you won't know in which areas until they tell you, usually years later. Girlfriend's kids, 20 and 17, like to go work on the car together in the detached garage. Late at night. Yeah. Pretty sure they're smoking weed. She likes to make them awkward by asking what they're up to. We see the 3 feet bong, you guys. My 5-year-old daughter hides every time she poops. She starts by asking, am I wearing a diaper? Then she loudly announces that she's going to hide over there. If I ask her if she's pooping, she screams at me, don't say those words. I'm just hiding. Got a 12-year-old, and I definitely know his Reddit account cause the little turd used my email to sign up. Must not have thought that one through. I'm too scared to look at it though. My kid Noah, 15, is trying to hide the fact that he's found a girlfriend. He thinks he's really smart by just saying he's going out to get food every now and then. But it's so easy to tell that he's going to see someone. Also, his girlfriend snitched on him. She told us that she liked him. My 16Y/0 had a box of condoms with a price sticker from the dollar store in his backpack. He left it on my passenger seat and they fell out while I was shifting it to the back seat. I went and bought him a better brand and replaced them. We have never discussed it. Edit. Thank you all so much for the great feedback. Parenting is no easy task, lol. To clarify, we have discussed sex. I only meant that we've never discussed the actual switching of the condom boxes. That they are not tired, despite the usual crying and making you feel terrible until they shut their eyes and 30 seconds later asleep. Parenting's a fucking whirlwind of emotions. Just this morning, a friend of mine told me he saw my 17-year-old son picking cigarette butts out of the ashtray at a gas station. So in one moment, I learned not only that my son is smoking cigarettes, but that he's a goddamn scrub as well. Not sure how to handle it. TBH. My daughter is trying to impress me by learning origami. She's 7 and doesn't think that dad can see all the missing paper and the messily but improving a lot paper cranes hidden throughout her room. I bought 2 more reams of paper and just left them out on accident. Lazy old dad not putting up his office supplies. The mother of my cousin thinks he smokes weed because one day he came back home with red eyes. He told me it was just pollen because he is allergic, hahaha. For the record, he is the most innocent kid I know. He is 14 and he is very pure. He would probably be scared to see a blunt, haha. My son, 7, is hiding that he secretly loves forest school, summer club. Each day I pick him up. He moans that they don't do many activities. That it's terrible. No one wants to play with him, and it isn't fun. The photos posted on their social media say otherwise, as well as the occasional slip-ups when telling us stories around the dining table. My effing dishes / plates. They sneak food up to their rooms so they can game and digest at the same time, but forget to bring the dishes downstairs. When I get in a hissy fit because I have to make my sandwich on a Tupperware lid, they swear they have not used any plate, but when I enter my kitchen later, a wonky tower of china looms in my sink for me to Jenga wash. Arg. My 12M son went on a double date. My husband happened to be driving through town and saw the 4 of them together. I asked him, and he said they happened to be going to the same place. The mother of the other boy had the scoop and filled me in. I'll let my son know that he shouldn't lie to me, and it is perfectly fine for him to be going on a double date. He apparently paid for the fries. I offered to drive him and the others somewhere if they wanted to go again. My 4-year-old wrote a letter she keeps in her bottom drawer. When me and my husband die, she will come home and get it. We are not allowed look at it or touch it, but apparently it says that we gave her loads of money and she gave us loads of pictures. I'm not sure what this says about her or us, but it will be interesting how long she keeps said letter. It's been a month so far. When I was a teen, I came home stoned at least once a week and felt like the beat actor ever after talking to my mom for like 20 minutes while assuming she didn't notice. When I was 20, she asked me if I stopped smoking weed because she really enjoyed our stoned conversations. Our son, 3, thinks he's hiding his body when we play hide and seek. Really, he just makes eye contact with us till he goes into his spot. Softly counting 1, 2, 3 inches until 10. He proceeds to cover his eyes and says, "Try to find me, mommy / daddy," and it's the cutest and funniest thing to us. My neighbors across the street have an 18-year-old daughter. Most nights at around 9:30 she has a young man crawl in through her window. I realize this because I'm usually wrapping up our evening dog walk at about that time. I'm not sure, but I've counted at least 5 different young men based on build and race. I left jerk-off socks under my bed when I moved out. Next time I visited, I went to remove them and yup, they were already gone. Stains were still there, though. Never been mentioned. My 2-year-old attempts to hide the family dog, who is 75 pounds, in various places in his room so that the dog can sleep in there with him. So far, I found the dog in the closet, behind the curtains, surrounded by stuffed animals to blend in, and on numerous occasions I've walked in the room to see a giant mound under the comforter at the foot of the bed. My son is astonished every single time that I have not only found the dog, but was even looking for him in the first place. On more than one occasion he even attempted to persuade me that he didn't even know we had a dog. Not a parent per se, but I have a 11-year-old brother I've practically raised. My mother left for drugs and my dad working as much as he could to support both of us and my 2 half-brothers. My dad got him a phone recently. One night he came to me and said, "I think my phone has a problem." I look at his phone, one of those fake pop-up ads that are like you have a phone virus. Tap her to get rid of it. Anyways, I told him it was fake and websites do this to fuck with you and give you an actual virus. Anyway, I look at his history to see what he looked up to stumble upon that my master has a BBC in ASMR porn. Never said anything about it. Handed the phone back and went on about my business and him about his. My 2-year-old dropped out Echo Dot and split into 2 pieces. She attempted to sandwich it back together and put it back where it was, but now says stuff like Alexa play Mickey Mouse, and then when nothing happens she says oh Alexa what happened? You know damn well what happened and it's happened. Look through my 12-year-old son's iPod internet history. He searched for boobs. World's biggest boobs. And sex in bed. I deleted it and have been pretending like I don't know. I thought of another one a few months ago after one of his long poops. I went into the bathroom after him and saw a Cosmo on the floor next to the toilet. I hadn't recalled ever seeing this one. I asked him why he was reading it, and he said because he was bored. I noticed on the cover was something like Best Sex Positions PG 178. I didn't want to, but I turned to page 178. The pages were stuck together. I threw it away, washed my hands, and never spoke of it again. Not a parent, but my story's senior in high school. BF and I got home from school with about an hour alone, got busy on the couch and mom came home early lol. We rushed around grabbing the wrong clothes. He hid in the bathroom. I busted ass upstairs and got dressed. She came in, acted normal, thought I was good. Right before she went out back to have a smoke, she said by the way, boyfriend left his underwear on the floor by the couch and went outside, was mortified lol. She was pretty cool about it though. Offered to get me birth control and said she'd whoop my ass if I did that on her couch again lol. If roles were reversed here, when I was like 15 I came out as lesbian. No one knew and my mother was shocked. She walked in on me and one of my friends one time and I spun a story about going skinny dipping. She knew we were having sex. 100% she knew. A few years ago, I was going through my son's 3rd grade backpack and found a can of ravioli. That's all well, except I never bought any ravioli. When I asked him about it, he burst into tears and pulled out a box under his bed filled with ravioli. He then proceeded to tell me how this girl that picks on him and says they are married gives him ravioli every day and makes him take it. I can just picture this girl's mother telling her the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.